So I said in my video on the crimes of Grindelwald that I'm really surprised that a film like Suspiria actually exists. And I mean that in all the best ways possible. You know, although it does have flaws, it baffles me that Hollywood still allows these films to be made. It's a film that is going to upset a lot of people. I think it's a film that you're either going to love or you're going to hate. There are going to be people in the middle. Very similar to Darren Aronofsky's Mother last year, or Killing of a Sacred Deer. And it's a very controversial film for sure. But I think it's one that just has so much balls and so much ambition. And I think it's that ambition and that desire to tell stories that not everyone is going to like, not everyone is going to enjoy, but is going to elicit this really, really strong sense of like emotion and atmosphere out of you. That's something I really respect, and I think that's something Luca Guadagnino did so well. So let's talk about why I think Suspiria is one of the most unique films of this year. Firstly, we have to talk about the fact that this is a remake, or as many people have described it, Luca Guadagnino and Tilda Swinton have both said this is more of a cover, more of a reimagining of Dario Argento's original film, which I love. I think that film is amazing. A lot of people say it's style over substance. I say I don't care. That movie is amazing. It feels timeless, and it feels like an experience. The cinematography, the score, the editing, just everything makes that film feel like this out-of-body experience. It almost transcends the word film, because structurally, story-wise, character-wise, there's not much there. But it's just this attack on the senses that I've never seen anything quite like it before. And I love that original Dario Argento version. If you're looking for a more accurate remake of Suspiria, something that is more stylistically similar to Dario Argento, you're not going to get it with this version. I think you should check out something like The Neon Demon or Only God Forgives. Nicholas Winding Refn, I think in many ways, is kind of the new Dario Argento. But anyway, Suspiria, this version, 2018 version, feels like the complete opposite of Dario Argento's original, because the first thing that you'll notice is that the colors are almost non-existent. It's incredibly muted. It's very desaturated. Tom York's amazing, melancholic, meditative score. Again, it's melancholic and meditative. It's much slower and more subtle, but there are moments of big, loud craziness, which I'll get into in a bit. It's much longer. It's an hour longer than the original. The characters, the story, they all feel more fleshed out. The characters feel more like real people. There's more of a structure to the story. In fact, if you've seen the film, then you know that it's kind of broken down into these 6, 7 different acts. There are pros and cons to this, because of course, you know, you get a more proper film, but on the other hand, you do kind of lose that feeling of immersion and experience. And like, you know, the best example for me to describe this is like Gravity. Gravity is like an hour-and-a-half film. You're always in it. You know, you never kind of cut away from the characters. There's a sense of focus, you know, and it just hits you with, you know, moment after moment after moment. Whereas here, it's much slower, it's much more drawn out, it's much more methodical and patient. And at some points, I did find myself kind of tuning out a little bit, because it is 2.5 hours and because the pacing is rather slow. But also, in a way, that is kind of the film's strength, because one of the primary strengths of Guadagnino's Suspiria is the contrast, because you have these really slow, drawn out, long takes, for example. And if you see the film, then you know that there's another scene where it's completely red, and the editing and the music and the cinematography is all over the place. Or, you know, the opening scene in which the editing is sharp and really snappy, and you contrast that again with like a long take sequence, for example. And, you know, this is also reflected in Tom York's score, as I mentioned, and the colors, and the cinematography, which is great. It's, by the way, it's shot by a Thai cinematographer, which is awesome, because I never thought I'd like see one of my fellow countrymen shooting a film quite like this. And one thing that really intrigues me is the fact that, in a way, this film isn't like blatantly, explicitly scary. There are moments of really, really great tension building and stuff like that. But I think that if we look at the 3 main horror films of this year, and I feel like I would be interested in doing a video essay on this, you look at something like A Quiet Place and compare that with Hereditary and compare that with Suspiria. I think that they scare you in very, very different ways. I find that A Quiet Place achieves horror through tension. I feel that Hereditary achieves horror through emotion, and Suspiria achieves horror through atmosphere. And if you've seen any of Luca Guadagnino's films, whether it's Call Me By Your Name or A Bigger Splash, this guy is a master of atmosphere. Every single shot in this film, you feel it. You don't just see the shot, you feel it. And that's something that I can't say for a lot of filmmakers. I think Luca Guadagnino is so gifted at just crafting atmosphere. And honestly, it's something that deserves praise, and it's something that really deserves studying. And I think he does an amazing job at this. And that is why, like, despite the fact that the film's long and there are slower moments, I was still invested in this world. I felt like not necessarily a part of the world, but that I was in it from a distance. It's weird. It's really, I know it sounds dumb, but I think you'll get it when you watch the movie. And that really deserves praise. Let's talk about some of the performances. Dakota Johnson is great, Mia Goth is great, Chloe Grace Moretz is great. But, holy shit, I just found, okay, so I didn't really know that. I need to tell you the story, okay? So, I was watching this video on Tilda Swinton by the channel Fandle. And they were like, in Suspiria, Tilda Swinton plays 2 characters. And then I quickly skipped away because I just like, I thought that was going to be a spoiler. But it's not a spoiler. And I found this out yesterday, but she plays Mother Marcos, a spoiler alert, but she plays Mother Marcos, but also she plays the doctor, the psychiatrist. And I found that hilarious because, okay, so it's fun, right? Because the Tilda Swinton playing is intriguing and her performance is amazing. She needs to get nominated. But I love the thing my favorite thing about Suspiria, which I don't think that they had intended this to be my favorite thing about Suspiria, but my favorite thing about Suspiria is the fact that like, in the interviews, Tilda Swinton like refers to this guy as Lutz Ebersdorf. And like I find this hilarious. Like she read the letter that he wrote at the I think it was like the TIFF festival, and then like I don't know, mad respect to Tilda Swinton. She's just one of my favorite actors now. I still can't get over the fact that she's playing a man. That's crazy enough. But you know, in these prosthetics, and it's a great performance. But she keeps referring to him as Lutz Ebersdorf, and they've created this fake persona for her. Honestly, if she gets nominated for Best Supporting Actor or Best Supporting Actor, and she rocks up to the Oscars as Lutz Ebersdorf, and she wins the Oscar as Lutz motherfucking Ebersdorf, it would make my year. I don't know why I'm this obsessed with it, but I can't get over it. It's crazy. I love it. And this is the type of crazy stuff that I want to see more of in Hollywood. And this is the type of crazy stuff that I really respect Luca Guadagnino and Tilda Swinton to approve and achieve and attempt. And it's just, this film is just this crazy experience that also manages to balance story. You know, even though it does lose some of that Argento charm and craziness. And I would say that despite some pacing issues and stuff like that, I really enjoyed Suspiria. I think that it is an experience. There is really nothing else this year like it. And I really respect them for going the extra mile to be different, to really do what they wanted to do, even if it meant that we might not understand it or we might not like it. But I still could see Guadagnino's passion and his love and his knowledge of this genre and this film in every scene, in every shot, in every frame. Grade-wise, A-. I would say A-, B+. Because, you know, like, I don't know if it works that well. I'm still kind of like iffy on that. I would probably give this film an A- because like Mother, you know, although it will upset a lot of people, it is daring, it is bold, it is new. And that's what I love about it. That's what I want to see more of, this daring filmmaking. And I have to really respect that. So that was my thoughts on Suspiria. Yeah, thank you very, very much for watching. I hope that if you watch this to the end of the video and you haven't seen the film, I hope that you won't be too angry at me for ruining the fact that Lutz Ebersdorf. Sorry. Yes. Thank you for watching. Just go watch this film and enjoy it, and enjoy Lutz Ebersdorf's performance. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. Thank you.